Good morning, good afternoon, and good night to everyone. Welcome back to the K Plus Podcast, episode 10. Episode 10, we have hit the double digit mark in the episodes, man. Like I said, don't kill me now. I try to be a little consistent with the timing of it, I try to be a little consistent with the timing of what I release, but man, just been pushing work, man. But we here, man. Hope y'all doing good today. Hope y'all having a good day. And I brought some people for you now. I brought some folks for you now. I guess we're gonna have a good episode today. We have to talk about some good stuff today and so forth. So let me introduce you to my special guest and so forth. Estek, talk to me. What's going on, man? Talk to me.
Oh,
Tell the
what
people
is
what's going
that?
on. Introduce yourself.
Yeah, man, you don't know SDK, cooling out, man.
Yeah, man. Estek_99. Yeah, man. This
Check me
Snapchat,
out.
man. This man.
Check me out.
Want to get a Snapchat login as he name?
Come on, you got to.
Yeah, for sure, man. Yeah, man. Mikey, talk to them, man. My boy Mikey down in the party. How you doing, man? What going on?
Just cooling it, just doing what I gotta do. What am I them saying?
Oh, I
Dog,
good,
we
man.
blessed,
I
dog.
good.
I loud and clear on your side still?
Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
man. You're sounding good. You're sounding righteous. We
Yeah,
gonna
good.
make it work anyway. We got
There
some
you
good
go.
content for the people here, man. And you see, guys, I really wanted, I could have just do one episode one and the next. I really wanted all three of we together because we got some things to talk about. We need this the big three, the Ray Allen, the LeBron, and no, it's not Ray. No, the Ray Allen. I think about the Heat big three. I gotta talk about the Celtics. Pierce, Garnett, Ray. You know what? Screw it, forget it. Don't even bother about it.
Dude,
Too
Stick
much
don't
big-
even
No,
Stick don't even know
You
you talking
don't
about.
even watch ball.
Yeah.
You don't even watch ball, my son. You gotta be like a Call of Duty trio, man. The XM4, the
Hey,
AK,
that's
and the
three
Bruin, my
was
son.
all right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember that Bren.
Why? Not the way
The
you
bread?
think.
No, man. You talking about
Wait,
old
wait.
gun, man. That's the OG Warzone, man.
Stick no going on.
Okay, not a real deal.
No,
thing.
no. What y'all?
Caldera?
Oh, yeah, that was a
Mopping
good one.
up dudes with that Bren, son.
No. What y'all know about that Ram 7 send that boy to heaven? Y'all don't know about
Okay,
that type of
yeah.
gun, there, man.
That's right, me.
Y'all don't know
Big
about
chops.
that. Y'all don't know about that type of gun there at all, man. Come on. But no.
Ram 7?
The Ram 7. You know what the Ram
Yeah.
7.
That was that
I
boy
met that
specialty
heck.
right there. That was Cataract specialty
Yeah.
right there.
I used to love the Ram 7, boy. Your boy average a nice solid 1 kill per game. I
One of them.
gotcha. Hey, once I make you
right.
bleed, I don't care. No.
No, I'm right there with you, dog.
Once I make you bleed, I don't care. But
I got
no.
my 1-2 kills, I had fun.
Yeah, man. Once you have fun, that's it. I don't want to hear it at all. Once I do my thing, I good on that. But no. Today, I wanted to talk about a specific topic, something that, me and Estek, Mikey, we had talk about this couple times before, and it dawned on me, man. It's I got to put this on a show, man. I really got to put this on a show and talk about this here, man. It's really about just necessarily being a product of your environment. So first things first, I'm gonna just Google just the basic definition of what being a product of your environment is, and per Google, or I should say AI overview, because everything is AI now, means that someone or something is significantly shaped and influenced by the surrounding circumstances, social context, or physical environments they're in, and so forth. So being a victim of environment, product of environment, is not a new term. We've heard this many times before in real life or in TV and so forth. And when it comes to it now, it is true that we become what we are surrounded by and so forth, especially at a younger age. So, Mikey, talk to me. When you hear about being a product of your environment, what does that really entail to you in terms of an individual person?
I think it can mean many things, but I think in general, I can agree with the definition that that Google gave you, is that you basically, it's like water in a jar. You're gonna take the form of whatever whatever is poured into you. You're gonna take that form, whether it's a sport. If you grow up around a certain sport or sports in general, you're gonna pick that up. Whether
Yes.
if it's the streets, if it's church, all of we grew up in church, so
Mm-hmm.
we can agree on that sentiment that if you
Mm-hmm.
grew up singing certain songs and hearing certain things, those that can allow you to think a certain way.
Yes.
It might not mold you completely,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't just completely throw it out the window. You can't say that you didn't have this experience because you definitely grew up
Mm-hmm.
around whatever that environment is. So I do agree with that sentiment that every single one of us is shaped by our environment, whether for
Mm-hmm.
good, whether for bad, or just to be, just indifferent. But at the end of the day, we're all shaped by our environment. You're not gonna grow up, a chicken can't grow up around a bunch of dogs
Mm-hmm.
and not try to bark.
No, facts. Chicken go be
It's
barking is
true.
insane.
It's true.
But
Yeah, check the chick. A
mm-hmm.
chicken gonna always be a chicken,
Mm-hmm.
but guaranteed, if they see the dog trying to wag his tail, they're gonna try to wag his tail. You see them playing around, if there's nobody else to tell this chicken you a chicken, he
Mm-hmm.
gonna try to do what the dog them doing. So I definitely believe that once your environment,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't 100% mold you because you don't have to be that person. You can definitely choose to be
But it
different.
affects you though, however, it
But
does.
100%, it affects the way you think. It affects the way you process things. It affects the way you gather information.
Mm-hmm.
It affects you overall. You know what I'm saying? If you
Yeah.
grew up in a household where nobody doesn't cuss, nobody don't use no foul language.
Mm-hmm.
When you go around people that has cuss, you're gonna feel kind of weird if you
Mm-hmm.
hearing people bad words just flying left and right.
Yeah. Because you're not accustomed to it.
Because of how you raised. Exactly. You could be an adult, you could be, it don't matter, but because of how you was raised, you're gonna feel that, that sting every time you hear something that you're not accustomed to. Or
Mm-hmm.
if you are accustomed to that now, you grow up in a household where it's always bickering and fighting. When you're there in a peaceful household now, you're gonna be like, something feel a little off because you
Yeah.
are accustomed to. Exactly, because you were accustomed to the back and forth. So now, that's, to me, that's like a negative example of your environment
Mm.
shaping you.
Okay. I feel. Stick talk to me. What's your take on that?
I mean, I could agree with basically everything Mikey's saying right there. You know what I mean? Your environment plays a lot. I got some stuff here. Let me tell you. So your environment, right? You could break it down in a couple different ways, pretty much. You know what I mean? Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Basically, broken homes. That be part of your environment. And let me see the way how you choose to. What's the word I'm looking for? The way how you choose to react. Okay, for example, what Mikey was saying. Mikey said, if you raise in a house where everybody cussing like sailors, and then you come to some place where they don't cuss that often, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
If you don't realize, like, okay, because I was raised to cuss, and my partner estate don't cuss like that, you might look at me funny. You might tell me, oh, well, but what wrong with you? You see what I'm saying? But then I might look at
Mm-hmm.
you like, hey, but why do you feel the need to always have to, you know, swear at everybody and swear at everything? You see what I'm saying? And then,
Mm-hmm.
just that little small example could be the difference in, well, how I treat people around me, how I think about people around me. So that's just,
Just to piggyback on that thought, uh, um, I think it starts with how you think about people or
right.
anything in general. Because you can't treat nobody a certain way if you don't think about it. Like a lot of people, it's natural. They don't even think before they act. They just react.
Yeah.
And if a lot of times, if you think before you act, you realize that either you were raised, correctly or you weren't. I'm just saying, like in general, you're in a situation, you might be like, okay, how would I react in this situation? Most people might not even think about it. They're gonna just react. But
But
depending on how you were raised, the way your environment would determine what that reaction is. You see what I'm saying?
yeah,
Sometimes,
like if
yeah,
you're gonna
if
be
you're in a
positive or
real
negative, basically. Like if you're gonna
right,
lash out
or
or you're gonna stay calm, try to think through it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, I
Right.
get that.
But you see, in that respect too, there's a right and wrong way to do it, but like the individual may not be fully aware of that. You so like you said, if you raise like if they cussing like sailors all your life, your parents and your sister them and so forth, that's all you're hearing. That's this how you're going to talk. It's how you're going to talk, and then people going to take like offense to that. But in a way, that's all you know. And growing up, I
And it's
think
just words at the end of the day. I mean,
yeah. It just was. It's just a more
sometimes it hurt more when you don't use no bad word, dog. Some people know how to lash you on, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
really
Because
really digging the knife.
yeah. And what really makes a word bad? That's a whole different topic.
Well, that's true.
No, yeah, we will
Point.
say that for next. We will say that for our next part, man.
Okay.
Because
Am I ready?
I think ass been in the Bible and it mean donkey.
Oh, for sure.
But if I
For
call you
sure.
ass, I ain't calling you a donkey. It's check,
Me?
so it's like I don't know. I,
No,
but
you's a real donkey.
yeah, no man, me and a donkey, man. But
No, not
hey,
you, not you, Kakarot. This man, not you.
oh yeah, he's the donkey for real, man.
Yeah.
This man. Wait, what is the movie name? Shrek, donkey.
Yeah.
But no, same way in that respect, and this is something I myself kind of like realize, even amongst me and as they talk about it, a couple times we in a separate with other folks and so forth in terms of like how we raise and stuff we see and so forth. I myself realize like certain things, certain reasons why I move a certain way or why I do certain things partly stem from what I experienced growing up as a child. You so forth. And it's funny because it's funny stick because I talked to moms. I think that last same day we had that convo and so you check I talked to moms about it. And I had a lot of insight, you check. It's
Okay.
some
So
things that
what she tell you? Like what she touched on? Like you didn't really see before.
so in terms of me want to do too deep in it, but it's like it's certain reason, certain ways I react to certain things, maybe due to things that wasn't done or things that I didn't experience or things I did experience. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So sometimes even inadvertently we even become like some people say I like I'll never be like my parents.
Right.
Some people say that I'll never be like my parents or whatever. Sometimes we say that, right? But we end up being exactly like them without even being conscious of that because they don't want to brought us up. They don't want to raise
Yes.
us and so forth.
I hear what DNA is a real thing.
Mhm.
People try to act like your genes is not a real thing. You are literally half of your mother and your father. Like that's
Yep.
that's how genes work. Obviously, you're gonna make choices and decisions when you become an adult. Some people don't even wait till they're an adult. They might be a child and they're making certain choices and decisions. But the fact of the matter remains, your DNA is half your mother and half your father. And there's a lot of things that are in there that you don't even notice. There's a lot of things you might not have even seen in your parents, but they're traits from your parents, and they're gonna get passed down to you. You might pass them down to your children, and likewise.
Well, you see, and this let me say something too, right? Basically, when you raise in a one-parent household, whether it be mommy or whether it be daddy, you don't understand that the 50% of your mother, you do know, you're missing that 50% of your father. You see what I'm saying? So you might say, oh, well, my father don't know nothing. But then, you, without, like Katarko was saying earlier, your mother might look at you and say, but wait, how he doing that? Or why she behaving like that? Like she remind me of, her mother, or she remind me of her father, you know what I mean? But from your view, you like, nah, you know what I mean? That ain't nothing. But yeah, man.
So another thing, as from a child's perspective, you gotta understand that your parent was a person before you came around. There's a lot that changed between the time you came on this earth and now, and even before that. So there's a lot that you really don't understand. They might tell you certain things, but you have to understand. Like they say, time is the fourth dimension. So at the time when your parent was exhibiting certain traits or whatever, you might not even have been born. You might not know who your parent really is until you start to learn yourself. There's a lot you might learn about yourself that you're gonna start to see in your parents once you start to dig deeper in yourself.
Yeah, I agree.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it is a thing about growing because we grow every day. You grow, you change, not really every day specifically and so forth, but we grow, we see things, we change over time. Opinions may change, certain things, maybe not the core stuff, but certain things may change and so
Even the
forth.
core stuff, because like I said, sometimes you think you know who you are until you end up in a situation and you're like, why was I thinking like this all along? You know, what caused me to think like this? Was it my environment? You know,
And then
was it a parent that was pushing this thought process or this belief system on me? Or was it just that I didn't have no guidance? Or it could be a bunch of different things. Sometimes you meet up, you buck up in a wall, and then you realize, okay, maybe I need to change the way I'm looking at something. You know what I mean?
oh yeah, for sure, for sure. Then you even, in that case, sometimes you even question why you did certain things before, and it's like, why you use a person now? You check,
Yeah,
use a
why do I
person now.
react this way? And I think that's where it starts. Me and Stick was talking about this the other day. It's like once you start to ask yourself these questions and you start to, if you want better from yourself, and you start to talk to yourself and ask yourself these questions and answer these questions, it don't make you crazy. You check,
Oh
it
no,
just means you're being introspective. You're trying to understand
you're
yourself
looking within
better.
yourself. You check,
Correct.
you're looking within yourself to figure out why you are the way you are and so forth. And
And then to piggyback on this, well, not to piggyback, but to continue on the topic of parenting,
yes,
it helps you understand your parent more once you start to understand yourself, because you start to see that some of the decisions that they made or some of the decisions that you make, it helps you understand the decisions that they made in the past or that they might make in the future, you know, and it gives you sometimes some sympathy. Sometimes it might not be no sympathy, but
Some hatred.
some hatred. Exactly. You could go to the other end of the spectrum. You know, you might say, man, this man or this woman could have made better choices or different choices. Sometimes it's not really better.
before you continue, you're speaking in terms of the child, having hate towards how the parent raised them and the choices they made in raising them. Is just so I'm making sure I clear and so forth.
Yes and no, because yes, it can be sometimes you sit back and you think about the decisions that your parents had to make,
Yes.
and it might make you resent them more, or it might allow you to love them more,
Understand.
or there might be more, or understand them more. You know what I'm
Why
saying?
they made the decisions they made.
Right. Whether the decision affected you or not, it just gives you that perspective of, why they made the choice that they made.
So okay, let me say something here, right?
Yes.
I got this thing here break down in three, right? The three main things that affect you in your environment as you grow. I have it one as broken homes, two, the lack of resources, and three, where you were born / raised. What y'all think about that? That's how I break
So
it.
that's the three things that affect how you. What
Your
was the
your
main
environment, your overall environment, in my opinion. Those are the three
the three
main
things that
things.
affect it
Yeah, the
or
three
make
What
it
are
main
the
things.
negative?
Your broken homes, lack of resources, and where you were born / raised. So, for example, okay, so broken home meaning single-headed household, whether or not that's a mother or a father. Lack of discipline. You see what I'm saying? Lack of discipline / structure, and generational trauma. That's a some big. A lot of people don't like to accept that it's real, and the lack of village raising mindset. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So that's just for like that's a breakdown of broken homes. You know what I mean?
So that's like the statistic of why such, is a single parent household technically is that considered a broken home?
Yeah, yeah, because it takes two. You see what I'm saying? It takes. Okay, so I'll have to go on blackdemographics.com to get an exact percentage, but if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken, um, it says that regardless if it's a woman or a man, the single-headed household, produce the worst product. You see what I'm saying? And people don't like to hear that. I'll use me as an example. If somebody come and talk to me about my mother and say, "Oh, well, your mother did the best she can," and da 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 da, for some reason in the black community, that's what we think. We don't question the black mothers and the black grandmothers. We don't question it at all.
Yeah, and I feel you on that because I look at my mom's and my mom's is superwoman. You check what he's
Right,
saying. Period. Me, my mom's is Miss Make It Happen. You check what he's saying.
right.
So, my mom's predominantly raised me. I live with my mom's most of my life and so forth. Me and my brother them. She technically, raise us and so forth, you check. So I see why people would take offense to that, saying that single parent households would bring up the most broken homes, because frankly, a lot of and I don't know if it's just within the VI itself or even abroad in the States. So a lot of we grew up predominantly in one parent in the house, whether mommy and daddy done or mommy live here and daddy live there and separate. So a lot of us, I know a lot of people in that situation.
I wouldn't even say VI or whatever. It's black families, my
Yeah,
boy.
yeah, yeah.
So just the
So
whole demographic of the black man and woman, essentially.
yeah. It's a lot of single parenting households. And I do agree with you, Stick, when you said any format of a single parent home
Yep.
is a broken home.
Yeah,
Is a
because
broken
you
household.
got to think about it that, okay, we're going to start with mothers first. I was raised mostly by my mother. The problem with that now is mothers are feminine by nature. You check what I'm saying?
They're
A woman's
yeah.
biologic or whatever, that's just how a woman
Biology,
is.
they're naturally
Right.
more emotional.
Now, the problem is now, when you raise with just that alone, you get too much of it. You know what I mean? That's just like water.
Mhm.
Everybody need water, but you get too much of it, what happens? You drown, you're dead. You see what I'm saying? You can't breathe. You're gone. You feel me? So, now, the thing is, right,
Not me, I
now
get
you
guilt.
missing as a woman,
Stop,
even as a
stop.
woman, dog. You
No,
check,
no, no. Let's take stop because
even as a woman,
wait,
you're missing
wait.
that you gain too much, fam. It's just too much. Now, same for a man. If you're a girl or a man and you raise with your father,
Yeah,
now you gain too much.
predominantly with your
You
father.
check, you gain
Yeah.
too much masculinity.
There needs to be a balance. And I think the
There's a
issue
lack
is
of
that
balance with the single parent household.
correct. And it don't matter how much the man's like to say, oh, my mother is my mother and my father, or whatever BS the man like to say. You need balance, dude. The problem I feel like right now we have in a lot of these households is that they try to erase roles. That's where it starts.
But you say
You-
anybody
you-
could be mommy, anybody could be daddy, anybody could be grandma. That's
when
what they say.
yeah, you start erasing roles, and a father don't really have a role to play. You mother could go to the government and get subsidies. She could go and get all kinds of different benefits from the government. So there's really no purpose for a man to be in the household as far as they see it. When it comes to raising a child, you definitely need a male figure in your household. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You need a male and a female figure. There's a difference in nurturing. There's a difference in protection, and there's a difference in provision, providing. There's a difference in each parent does that in different ways. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's I would even go as far to say that I don't like to blame, or I don't like to hear the story of, oh, the government is why we are. In my opinion, and me and Mikey go back and forth on this all the time. In my opinion, the government ain't got nothing to do with none of this. I think this is just
So you're
pure
saying
how
it's
the
all
black
our fault
community is set up. That, fam, if you go talk to majority of people we went to school with, we were raised with, they don't respect their father. They don't respect no manly figures. And look how the thing's set up, right? The thing's set up to where more women are in power, and that's no, bias or sexist thing. But think about it. If you only raised with mostly your mother, I'm gonna use me as an example. My household is full of women, dog. You check. Only me and my boy Amo. You know what I mean? Shout out to Amo one time. You check. It's my mother,
Yes, sir.
my auntie, my grandmother, a bunch of women, dog. We go to school. Who you see teaching you? A bunch of women teachers, fam. You check. SDA, we had a woman gym teacher. Tonga. Shout out to Tonga one time. She was a woman gym teacher, fam. You see what I'm saying? Then you go to work. You see what I'm saying? The supervisor is woman. And that's no disrespect to the women. But like Mikey was saying earlier, if you only seen one side leaning, you check where's the other half to balance it out. You see what I'm saying?
I hear what you're saying. I don't necessarily agree with the example though.
Okay,
I
well, go
feel like for centuries it was men in all those roles. Women couldn't do nothing but
In
be
roles of power, you're saying.
Yeah. If you go to schools, it was male teachers for a long time. It was only male doctors. It was only male
Okay,
everything.
so with
And
that
then
being said though, we could compare the outcomes though, because that's my thing. I don't care who is in what. I care about the outcome. So, for example, if back then, if men were dominant, like you said, if men were dominantly in all of the roles, but we had a higher graduation rate, we had a better, a better two household rate. If everything shows, the statistics should show that, okay, yeah, this works better than this. You know what I mean? Same. If it works for the women, I'd have said the same thing.
it
Like
depends because
daycares.
numbers.
You know what I mean? For daycares, women in
Mhm.
daycares work way better than men. Everybody could agree with that, though, right? You will feel
Yes,
It is because
you will
of
feel
women
more
running
comfortable.
daycares.
You'll feel more comfortable if you drop your daughter off or your son off. You know, a daycare full of woman than a daycare full of grown man. That's just me. Everybody's a
I don't think I ever see a daycare full of grown man.
But
And
that's
if
what I'm
I see
trying to
that, I
tell
think
you. You see what
something
I'm
wrong.
saying?
Them. What you mean? I don't think I ever see a daycare full of man at all for real, man.
Well, I mean,
I can no, man. A daycare must be like
but you see what I'm saying, though, right? No, nobody.
I think ain't gonna
I.
take each child there. He
What
gonna go
you
there
saying?
himself.
What
I
you
got to find
saying?
what I
Hey,
want
you
there.
got to go and meet and greet and first, man. I ain't never. But wait, dude,
I'll be
that
so
is
proud.
No.
funny.
That's
I have.
a damn good example because like I was saying, women are technically their role is to nurture and to
Yes.
teach and to guide, you know what I'm saying? And who would for real, dude? Nobody's dropping their 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old off to a daycare that's run by 6 man, dude. Like
Right,
it's not
exactly.
gonna happen, dude.
Right.
I
No
don't think
matter
I've
no
seen
matter
that
what degree
either.
you got,
That's
no
the
matter what
crazy part.
studying you do, none of that will matter. That you check, none of that will matter.
Dude, it don't matter. It's like going into a delivery room and all the see, you can't even say midwife. If it's man, what you gonna call them? If it's a bunch of man helping to deliver the baby,
Man,
I'm
wife
like,
and
let's
link,
go to
fam.
our
Man,
next
What you
wife and
say,
hospital.
link.
man? Wife?
Yeah. I would because
That's
it's
the
not
man
right,
wife.
dog. You know what I'm saying? It
But
don't
you see
seem right
that goes back to what you were saying, Mikey. The roles. See what I'm saying? The roles has
for
been
sure.
so screwed up and everybody so messed up in the head. It's like now the man want to be the woman and the woman want to be the man. But then you see that goes back to
Right.
what saying in the beginning to
Who?
where
Which man want to be the woman? Which one?
2024, my boy.
Which man want to be the woman? No, man.
and
Yeah,
then
dude, it's
and you know,
crazy, dog. That man to be coming. It's like, yeah. Go ahead.
no. I was just gonna say another thing is too the village. I was saying the lack of village raising
What you
mindset.
saying? Carnival and so.
You see what I'm saying?
We go in
The
village.
lack of village mindset that don't mean fam that you throw down your child and you let other people raise your child. Remember at one point, well, before our time, our parents and our parents' parents, you couldn't diss the neighbor fam. The neighbor could have scold you, whip you in front of your parents, and then send you home. And you got double beaten from your mother and father. That's the stories my grandmother used to tell me. You see what I'm saying? Nowadays, if your teacher come and tell you something about your child, guess what? The parent won't fight the damn teacher. Do you see what I'm saying? So we're missing
Times
that
have changed.
aspect of we're missing an
There's
aspect
two
of
sides to that.
yes, there is, but we are missing an aspect of okay, I got a wife, I got a child, you know, her family and our family is supposed to become one family to help raise what? The child. In the interest of who? Not me, not her, the child. You know what I'm
The
saying?
child, yeah.
So
Yeah.
in my opinion, the black community is really missing that village mindset, positive, not the negative one where, you know, the girl get pregnant and then the mother go and tell her, oh, well, don't worry, that's our child, we'll raise it. No, that's bullshit. No. You see what I'm saying? But go ahead, Mikey, say what you want.
Yeah, it's no. I was just gonna say it's so many negative. I think as a people, as a demographic, there's so many negative traits that we've picked up and passed on.
Are we allowed to blame slavery like we always do? Are we
No,
allowed to blame
I
slavery?
do.
He
I
can't
do.
do
Me
that.
and this man,
No,
me and this man
Are
go
we
back and
allowed
forth
to
about
blame
this.
slavery?
No,
Hell yeah. You
400
have
years,
to.
400
no, I always
years.
tell
Listen, you
Mike,
have to, dude. You have to.
I-
And I know Stick gonna disagree with me on this. It don't matter how long ago it was, dog, because check it out. When you degrade somebody to the level of a dog, to less than a dog, and for generations, you check, and these people have to they procreate and they have children, and then they're told that they're worth nothing. You change your name, you change their identity, you change their language, you change everything about them. You check, and they have to make themselves a part of a community that they didn't even belong in the first place. Now, you give these said people freedom, right?
Yes.
Freedom. Let them man do what they have to do. You think how quick you think they're gonna catch themselves?
Me, you know
How far-
what's freedom? Me, you know what freedom is?
But then guess what? This man stick, he like to tell me, oh, we get billionaires, we get black billionaires, we get this and we get that. I get it. But as a people, systematically, as a people, I'm not even, when I say as a people, I'm not even talking about us from the Caribbean really, because I feel like we different. Yeah, check to a degree. I feel like we kind of different. We kind of a little closer. We are a little bit more connected to the motherland than African Americans,
Yes.
Negroes from America. We are a little, closer to a little more homegrown. That man here, they're so brainwashed. There's a lot of a lot of darkness that they're unable to remove from the RAM, from their memory, that you know what I'm saying. And this is going back to genes. This thing's stuck in their bloodline, in their DNA for years and years, and that's why I understand why a lot of them are in the positions that they're in. Me and Amo and Stick, let's go back and forth about this whole growing up in the hood, living in the hood, this and that. Up here, it's definitely, if this is all you see, then there's nothing better for you out there.
You're
as
there
far
for
as
a product of your environment. You're raised
Correct.
in the hood.
Correct.
So
And
therefore,
obviously, we all have choices, and there's better for everyone. But I'm saying, when you grow up in a certain environment, you live it, it's gonna your lineage has an impact on how you think and how you feel. If you ever had a conversation with a Jewish person, you will understand their perspective, because they really follow bloodline. It's about your mother, it's about your father, and they follow the bloodline. You know what I'm saying? We don't know nothing past our grandparents. A lot of us Negroes cannot name nobody past their grandparents. What's your great grandmother name and nationality?
I think her name was Corona Reynolds or something, man. It have to be something like that.
But that's what I'm
I
saying.
don't remember.
In a lot of other races and ethnicities, they're able to track their lineage. They could tell you their family name from 100 years ago.
Okay, but
they could tell you
this thing though, Mikey, right? That don't have nothing to do with what people do to you. If you, I'm gonna use you as
it has a lot to do with it.
Hold on, this is what I mean by that.
Because all of that encompass, all that together makes you.
Okay, that is true. But here's the thing, right? If you have a child and you don't teach your child, because it was your mother's responsibility to let you know what came before you. Your father's responsibility. You see what I'm saying? The people before you, it was their responsibility to say, okay, like you said, this was your great-great-grandfather, Mikey the Third. And England,
I agree,
blah, blah, blah,
but
blah, blah.
if they were never taught, then what happens?
Well, they never reached nowhere.
But that's what I'm saying.
So
if their parents, it just keeps going back. It's gonna keep going back and going back and going back and going back.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
It'll only keep going back and back if somebody don't change it. And I believe that's why I don't like the argument where the slave.
Do they know that it has to be changed, or they're aware that a change has to be made?
Okay, so then that goes into my another point here. Lack of resources, fam. Lack of resources. You see what I'm saying? As a black community, we have little to no resources, fam. What I mean by resources is
we got an internet, my boy.
I mean,
so if that just debunk your whole statement. If we have the internet, what's stopping us?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
So I wouldn't say, maybe not the lack of resources, but maybe they just don't use it. Maybe that's a way to put it. They don't know that it needs
lack of outside help besides what was given to you. Limited opportunity.
No.
Go ahead.
I agree with what you're saying. Finish your point. Sorry. When I say no, I'm saying I don't think that has as much to do with your history. I think that has more to
that. Okay, I could agree with that.
Yeah, I think we all have resources is all about opportunities too. Everybody doesn't have the same opportunity of resources. I agree with that.
Okay.
Lack of resources. But to your point, Stick, if we all have access to the internet, we can all figure out how to, one, make money, or two, we can survive, so to speak. Then you're basically saying that none of these things should have a factor.
No,
I'm saying
no. It does have a factor.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is people use it as a crutch. Let me just start there. So I'm gonna use me as an example. If I want to gain muscle, I'm skinny. Everybody who know me know they've been slim all his life. If I want to put on muscle, I could use the excuse, oh, my metabolism fast. Oh, but just my genes. Yes, genes do play a part. I'm not discrediting that. But it's just the fact that, okay, if I know I want to put on muscle and I'm struggling with that, where do I need to go? To get help, get the resources to say, okay, I want to put on 20 pounds. I want, whatever.
Yeah.
I lose 20 pounds, whatever.
Protein shake, go to the gym, stop.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why I'm saying is lack
So
of
people need
resources.
to take more control and not really just leave the excuses to a minimum.
So
Right.
here's my
thing,
thing.
People, it's too much, especially now. Before then, I will agree with Mikey more. Because before them, the first 10 years you're out of slavery, is like, this is new.
So let me ask you this.
You know what I mean?
Do you think, because this is on your same point, because yes, you could drink all the whey, all the protein shake, you could go to the gym, pump as much iron as you want, but you will never be as big as LeBron James. You will never be as big. You know why? Because of your genes. You just said that. Your genes,
it does play a factor.
your high metabolism.
Right.
Also,
so
quote unquote lack of resources, because LeBron spends about $1 million on his body every year.
A year. So imagine.
But,
do any of us that?
Guess what? I
want
do
$1
something
million,
with what I have though. That's another problem we come into as a
For
black
sure.
nation. We always looking at what other people have instead of what you have.
But you talking about equality of outcome though, right? You said that your outcome.
Yes.
You will never be as big as LeBron James, is what I'm saying. So if that's your goal, it's never gonna happen for you. So you have to set
goals.
Measurable, realistic goals.
You that's the thing. Black people love to watch what he, she, and LeBron and them like. Black people, I noticed that they like to watch. Okay, well, like you said, for your example, but LeBron is 6'9" and he's 220 pounds, Rick. Nigga, I'm 5'11". Of that, come on.
He got surgery you could do for that.
You know what I'm saying? But that don't mean.
He got heck you could do. You could stretch your shin bones and then it'll stretch your torso a little bit.
But you see, that's the easy way.
You rip you apart, man. No, man.
That's the easy way. It's like going to get a BBL.
But that's the thing. Before we used to praise. Okay, she actually went in a gym. She actually spent 6 months and she actually lose 30 pounds. That.
Oh,
you see what I'm saying?
For sure. And guess what? That woman still look better.
You see what I'm saying?
One them that ain't cheating, they still look better.
Same thing for the
Same
thing for the bodybuilders. You're like, wow, look, Estic really gonna put on 20, 30, 40 pounds of muscle, but the man look good. You see what I'm saying? Nowadays, everything is a cheap fix, and I watching what Cataract doing. Cataract watching what you doing, Mikey. Mikey, you watching what them doing, don't they? So we not focusing on. Okay, Estic have.
I agree with that.
Okay, go ahead. Say what you have to say. Go ahead.
No. I just saying I agree with that. Continue.
Yeah, you see what I'm saying?
So trying to stem back to it now is saying essentially slavery is a big reason as to why, like Mikey's saying, slavery is a big part as to why some of the behaviors we have as black people are there. But like kind of Estic is saying, like
even the same behaviors that Estic talking about, where we don't watch one another and all of that comes from slavery.
The
whole slave get treated better than the field slave.
Correct.
Check what I'm saying.
Correct. 100%.
Right there is
there's an animosity. There's a division.
There's a division. Yes, because look, the whole slave getting treated good, but some whole slave ain't really want to put on the field slave because they want to get in trouble and lose their position.
Usually the house slaves were lighter skinned. So we like to act like there's not a real thing between dark skins and light skins. This goes way back, dude. This ain't no nowadays thing. You check. Man don't just hate Stephen Curry just because he could shoot good. A lot of that man just don't like the man just because of how he look. If we're being honest, you know what I'm saying? So it's just, I think a lot of these things go way deeper than we like to realize. These things is in our genes, you know what I'm saying? This whole crab in a barrel mentality.
Generations of trauma we're dealing with that just
and that, to me, it started with slavery because we were kings and queens before that. And not to act like all of us were. Because remember, a lot of people try to act like slavery started first here in America. It was Africans that enslaved Africans that sold those Africans to Europeans. So it didn't start with the whole color thing. You know what I'm saying? It's just people being people. You know what I mean? And I just feel like the whole demographic over here, our black brothers and sisters, we just kind of lost that. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of agree with
some
Joseph. I agree with Stick when he said maybe I'm gonna say we because I black, but maybe we as black people just use it too much as a crutch. I can agree with that, but it doesn't erase. You can't just magically erase it from history. It's not like it didn't happen. It definitely happened, and there's people who's old enough to remember what their parents lived through and what their grandparents lived through. You know what I'm saying? So it's not too far. We're not too far removed from that.
No, I
No,
agree.
I see that in that regard and so forth. And it's like it's funny because we talk about product of environment. Let's put it this way. A man raised up in the hood around, gang banging and killing whoever you want to call it, and come out to be great men and women in society. You check what I'm
Of
saying? They don't
course.
they don't go to that street life. And that same breath, you get people raised in richer families in the suburbs and so forth, come out to be like serial killers. So it's like it's a little bit both in each side. We see people come from good families turn to. I mean, look at the partner that killed the United CEO. Apparently, he come from a great family. The family
Great
doing well and
family.
so forth.
That goes into something me and Mikey always quarrel about too. Choice. That's a choice, fam. At a certain point in your life, fam, you have a certain choice. Whether you want to repeat what you see, or like Mikey was saying, yo, I gotta start questioning this stupidness. You mean to tell me my mother, my grandmother, my great grandma, all are we raised up in WD, in the hood, in the ghetto, and none of them want to move? I don't want this for me and mine. And that's no disrespect to, but
I know
Right.
not
black
at all,
people,
but
as a
when
black
but
people,
it's like when does one become aware that it's all about because
so
you raised on a certain point all your life
okay,
is
good,
you have to
good
get that
point.
awareness
So
first.
this is why that's why I said lack of resources, fam. You see what I'm saying? That's what I mean by lack of resources. You used to go to school and you used to have a counselor. Black people don't believe in therapy. When you mention therapy, black people are like, man, what the fuck? What? Therapy? I good. I need that. You see what I'm saying? That's
Yeah,
That
but
is
that's
that is
true.
my
black.
therapy.
That's black
That
folk.
is
You
true.
see what I'm
God
saying?
is my yes, I. That's it.
You see what I'm
That's
saying?
I
it.
hear that. I hear that words come out of people's mouth before.
You see
Let's
That is
what
go.
my
I'm saying?
therapy.
I'm
Let's
telling
What
you
go
I need
and
to
that.
go.
pray, man.
And then, like I was saying, it
And
stems.
listen, and when I talk about, sorry, go ahead, Steak.
No, I was just gonna say it stems from how you was raised. That's how we started the conversation. It stems on how you was raised from who's around you. You know what I mean? If your mother, if you raise up to get boxed up, slap up in your head every day, you don't go to school. That's how bullies, become a bully.
Yeah.
Everybody here knows
Dude,
bully,
because
right?
let's be honest here. If you never get boxed down in your life, why would you go and want to box somebody else down? You know what I'm saying? These things don't just come out of nowhere. Either you watching something, either you seeing it at home in real life, or somebody is putting it something in your head. Somebody programming you and telling you, yeah, this is the way to do whatever.
It's
People don't naturally just start to do things unless you're obviously you have anomalies. You have people
right,
who
but that's
at either end
the
of the
majority. You see
spectrum.
what I'm saying? And those do exist. We're not
Right.
them out, but that's the small percentage. That's like out of every 10 of us, one of we gonna be a serial
Yeah.
killer. You see what I'm saying? So that's what I'm. And then another thing.
I would hope the numbers is less than that.
Every 1 in 10.
1 in 10.
Yeah.
God damn.
Where I am at the list. I don't feel like killing anybody.
But you see,
Yeah.
also too, cataract. It's a lot of generational traumas. And I'm gonna say something a little personal, right? I have been talking to my family personally. Me and Mikey, we go back and forth on this, right? And I question my mother, multiple times. I just asked her, well, okay, mommy, explain this to me, explain that to me. And she's at an age, she's old enough and mature enough to sit down and say, you know what, Joseph? Yeah, now that you really pull it up, I could have changed X, Y, and Z, and it was my fault. Just to hear that alone from my mother is
The
enough for
accountability
me to
you're
say, you know
speaking
what,
of.
thank you for being honest. I still love you, but I still have to question your decisions because, let's be for real, everything you did, mommy, was not perfect. Let's be for real now. You did your best. Okay, we're going to give you that much. You raised me. But if I'm not functioning properly in the real world, you see what I'm saying? You cannot say that, okay, you did everything you can. Okay,
And
go ahead,
once
Mikey,
again,
go ahead.
yeah, not to say too much, but that depends on how she was raised and also how much input your pops had.
Oh, and
So
that-
a lot of there's a lot that goes into
okay,
it
so
because
let me
you know what I
dive
realized?
into me a little bit more. So my mother have 5 children by 3 different guys. What do we call that in modern day? 3-letter word. Oh, right? Say it, Minke. That's just the truth.
I didn't want
No,
to say it.
No, that's
no,
the
no,
truth.
my
no.
But you see, this
I
is the
gotta mute my
this is the
mic, but this
reality
man
of it.
playing.
You see, Cataract, this is the reality of it, though. If you go down the road and you see
My
a
aunt.
girl with 3 children and you ask her, how much of them get the same father? And she said, they got 4 fathers, but 3 children. That's a whole fam. That's what it's called. In every nation,
Wow.
you go to Africa, you go to
The-
Egypt, you
Wow.
go
The
to
math
even,
ain't Martin, dog. The
What
you
math is
saying?
not
Come on, dog.
Martin, dog.
That's arithmetic, man.
fam, you go
That's-
anywhere in the world,
Arithmetic,
that's what they call it. I asked, let me tell her this. Let me tell
That's not even
right?
calculus, dog.
Fam, let
That's
me
different.
tell her this, all right?
Yeah, go ahead.
I speak to my mother and I ask her, I said, Mommy, why did you pick daddy? Why him? You know what I mean? Like, because I got 3 older sisters. I got 2 twin sisters and I got older sisters. And we are good years apart. You see what I'm saying? My oldest sister is 40 years old. He's 25. You see what I'm saying? That's a good gap. Why not her father? Why not the twins' father? Why you choose our father? And she told me straight up, she said, you know what, Joseph, at that time in my life, I just wanted to be married. That's what she told me. My mother told me she just wanted to be married. So you know what she did? The guy wanted to marry her. He married her, and she just went with it. Now, did it last? No, it didn't last because it wasn't built on, in my opinion, substance. It was just built on she wanted to get married, and he was the only man saying, "Hey, will you take me?" And y'all remember Pastor Fleming? I remember
Yeah,
Pastor
man.
Fleming.
Yeah.
Right? She told me
Mm.
that was her marriage counselor. That's what they call him, right? And
Yeah.
he basically told her, "Don't do that. Don't do it.
Mm.
Don't do it." And
So
she didn't
she
listen.
will want.
She didn't listen. You see what I'm saying? She did not listen. And she confirmed that to me. And that felt really good to hear her say, you know what? It's my fault because I was warned. And that was privately. She said, Pastor Fleming came to her one-on-one. Hey, I just want to let you know, something wrong with this nigga. You see who his son turned out to be? Something wrong with that man there, you know. Don't go down there, you know, fam. And she was honest with me. She was honest with me. And she said, you know what? I didn't listen. I didn't heed the warnings. I didn't take the signs, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And I still did it.
Sometimes you just want what you want, and
Right, but
you gotta deal with the consequences of that.
detrimental to that, though. You see how detrimental that is to everybody else around you.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Because now look,
Especially you them.
You see what I'm saying?
No,
Me,
for
Emily-
sure.
me and Emily can't say we raised like you, Mikey, who have a good, solid relationship with Pops. Your relationship with your father is better than your relationship with mine. You could at least call your father. I could probably say, well, not probably, but I could say, I never got a call that say, Daddy on the line, enough, fam. That's something I will never experience. And a lot of black people could relate.
Mm-hmm.
Some people could relate. I never got a call say, Mommy on the line. But it's more rare to hear Daddy. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say, the traumas, the generational traumas, goes way deeper and people refuse to accept it. People refuse to confront the black mothers and say, this don't make no sense. This don't make no sense, mommy. Come on, come.
We gotta confront the black fathers too, though. Gotta confront the fathers as well.
Sure, no, you're right.
I was gonna say,
right.
I was gonna say it goes both ways, but it all starts with like what I said. Once you ask yourself, if you ask yourself what your if you question yourself, then you're going to want to get these answers, and the only way to do that would be to question the people in charge, your parents.
And this when you do go to,
so I agree with what you're doing. Stick with talking to your mother and so and the rest. Yeah.
But there's another thing too. When you do start to confront them and press them up, you know what they do? They show their true colors. You see what I'm saying now, Qatar? This is where the
true colors in terms of what?
Say again.
True colors in terms of
how they really feel about the
red,
situation.
green, blue.
Dude, a lot of them mothers, a lot of them fathers have traumas of their own, fam. They can't even your aunt and your uncle been fighting way before you born. So now guess what? You miss out on knowing your uncle. You miss out knowing your aunt just because your aunt and your uncle can't get along that.
Cause
But
they
then when
get,
you
they get
press up on
family
code,
beef that start before you born, and now you got to take part in it just because mommy and auntie fighting,
but you
and
see,
you know why
so
you ask why you can't go by auntie house? No, no, no.
right.
Why
So
is that so easy for you to understand, Stick? But when it comes to the hood mentality, that's hard for you to get. It's
no,
the
no,
same thing, dude. If I grow up and I tell you, if me and you from the same, if me and you use my brother, dog, you
right,
know
right,
how we
right, right.
rock, dog. Yeah, check. We two different households, but you know how the vibes is, dog. And if I grow up and I don't frig with a certain person, and I tell you don't mess with these man, you're not going to, dog, and you're gonna raise your son the same way.
He
And
has a
that's how a
point.
lot of these, that's how these
And
hood
that's
man
true.
is, dude. They
That
grow up,
that is
they
true.
feel like, okay, I bang in blue. If I bang in this, I gonna stay over there. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of these man, they don't know why they don't like these man, and they live across the street.
But you see,
Yeah, check. So
that's
it
where you
really and
go.
truly, it's.
That's where you go back to saying
Go ahead.
somebody need to start asking questions, and somebody need to say this has gone on too long, fam. You see what I'm saying? It has gone on too long, and for me personally, I gonna be the one to change it, whether everybody hate me after or not.